I'm Kaylee, and these are my plans for some November reading. I am planning to participate in Nonfiction November. I don't think I'm going to do a bunch of challenges and prompts and things. I'm just going to read one nonfiction that I've got on my TBR for November. But that one nonfiction that I'm going to read is pretty significant, and it's actually going to influence a lot of my other reading. Before we dive into my lengthy and much too ambitious November TBR, let's reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book. And we're going to shout out somebody randomly. Today's shout out goes to Naomi's Bookshelf. I absolutely adore Naomi and I love her channel. I'll leave a link to her channel down in the description. Please go over and subscribe to her. You will not regret it. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for some great reading in November. And go over and follow me on Instagram and Goodreads as well. My one significant book for Nonfiction November is Crystal Hurd's The Leadership of C.S. Lewis, 10 Traits to Encourage Change and Growth. Crystal Hurd was wonderful and sweet enough to send me a review copy, and I'm so excited to finally dive in with this one. During September, I kind of set it aside because I was doing 30 books in 30 days. And then during October, I set this one aside because I was doing Victober. And now finally, Nonfiction November has arrived. And I am so excited to dive in with this. So of course, since I'm reading a nonfiction about C.S. Lewis, I have to reread the Chronicles of Narnia, which I've been saying I need to reread all year anyway. So finally, at the end of the year, I'm gonna dive back into Narnia again and reread these for what, the 15th, 16th time? I've completely lost count of how many times that I've reread Narnia. So something really cool is that Crystal Hurd has signed this copy for me. It says, "To Kaylee, Luminous Libro, thank you for your amazing bookish content and inspiring reads. Blessings to you, Crystal Hurd." So that was really sweet and just very special to have a note from the author included in this book. So that kind of made my day. So you're gonna be hearing a lot about C.S. Lewis in November. The next few books are ones that I've just had on my TBR for this year. And so these are just books from my own bookshelves that I'm trying to get some of these reads done before the end of the year. So I'm currently right in the middle of the Book of Night with Moon. This is a separate series from The Young Wizards, but it is set in the same universe, in the same world, in the same magic system and everything as The Young Wizards. I'm only on page 43 and I've already encountered one of the side characters from the Young Wizards series. They're also a character, just kind of a side character in this series as well. So it's really fun to be able to dive back into the Young Wizards universe, but it's brand new stories with new characters from new perspectives. The reason I've had this on my TBR all year is because I was saving it up for Halloween, because it's like black cats and the night with the moon. So I thought it would be a little more spooky. It's not necessarily spooky, it's more adventurous. And there are some, I guess, sort of spooky elements because, you know, they're fighting against the darkness and the evil and things like that. So the evil characters are spooky. And, you know, magical mysticalness is sort of spooky. But unfortunately, I did not end up finishing this like in time for Halloween. So I'm still in the middle of it. Just, you know, finish it up in November, no problem. I also want to finish up the Dragon and Thief series. The next one is Dragon and Judge. Wait, yeah, this is the 5th one in the series. And then the last one in the series is Dragon and Liberator, the 6th book. I have been loving this alien sci-fi adventure series by Timothy Zahn. So the dragon is actually an alien that kind of looks like a dragon, like a small dragon. And he has the ability to be 3D or to convert into 2D and sort of go onto a person's skin like a tattoo. So he has to have a host that he can become 2D on their skin. So this is full of heists and adventures and epic sci-fi battles and crazy alien races and different planets and all kinds of fun things. So sometime in November, at least by December, at least by the end of this year, I have got to finish up the Dragon and Thief series and read these last 2 books. I will say that they're so fast-paced that they go by really quickly. I could probably finish this in like 2-3 days and finish this one in 2 days and just enjoy every minute of it. All the rest of the books in this video are books that I received from the publisher in exchange for a free and honest review. So my TBR of review copies from publishers has just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's this huge stack now. And so I have got to get some of these finished up by the end of the year. These poor publishers have been waiting so long for me to review their book, and I'm starting to feel kind of guilty about it. So I just need to get on the ball and read some of these. Candlewick was nice enough to send me the entire series of Zombert. So let me see. The first one is The Rise of Zombert. And then the second one, I think, is Return of Zombert. And then the third one, which is just now being published, is just now coming out, is The Revenge of Zombert. So they've sent me all 3 of these. I'm not sure if this is just going to be a trilogy or if there's more to come in the rest of the series, but these look pretty creepy. I should have read these for Halloween. I'm not really sure what these are about. Melly and her best friend Danny find a scraggly, smelly cat. She rescues him and names him Bert. Could Bert actually be a zombie? But they think that Bert's strange behavior could have something to do with the fact that he was found next to the Yumco factory. So, the factory may have done some experiments on him. And I bet they turned him into a zombie. It has some cute illustrations and stuff in here. This looks like so much fun. And I also have the second book in the Loki Bad God's Guide to Being Good was the first book in the series, and now this one is A Bad God's Guide to Taking the Blame. So they were kind enough to send me an advanced reader copy. I've already read the first one, and now this is the second book in the series, and Loki has to live on Earth looking like a 7th grade boy, and Thor is there as well as a 7th or 8th grade boy to keep an eye on Loki and make sure he doesn't get into trouble. I loved the first book. It is so hilarious, and it's told in like this diary format. So Loki is writing in his diary, and then he'll write some sort of little comic and little things to illustrate what he is talking about. It is completely hilarious, and I can't wait to read the second book. The next one is Tiltersmith. This is by Amy Herrick. So it says that spring should have arrived in Brooklyn, New York, but winter refuses to let go. And the science teacher believes climate change is the cause, but the students think that magical forces are at work. So I think that's a really fun way to take the subject of climate change and add in some magic. That sounds really neat. I like this cover. These characters just look very serious. I think that one will be fun. Then we have Dragonfly Eyes. I am not even sure what this is about. I requested this simply because there's a piano on the cover, and I'm a pianist, so, you know, piano. Okay, so this girl has always been close to her French grandmother, but in their home city of Shanghai, people are suspicious of their European heritage. It's 1960s Shanghai. This girl and her mother suffer because they look European, but they're resourceful and they have each other. Aww. I love that this is about a family that is living in a different culture, because that's how I grew up. I'm American, but I did not grow up in America. And so I know all about that culture shock and people judging you based on, you know, your culture or where they think you come from. But that family heritage is strong and things. So I just love this. This looks really interesting. I feel like I'm going to relate to this a lot because of the parallels to my own life with piano and with being a bicultural kid. Then we have The Pear Affair. It says that Penelope spends as little time as possible with her greedy father and her fashion-obsessed mother. But when they mention an important trip to Paris, she begs to go along because her former nanny now lives in Paris, but the nanny is missing. So she begins to explore the darkest and most mysterious parts of the city to bring to light a sinister plot. Ooh, that sounds wonderful. So her au pair, her nanny, her au pair, is missing. So that's why I guess it's called The Pear Affair. I don't know if you can see, but like in the background, see, there's all these shadowy figures. That is a really cool cover. Next, we have a couple of books from the Harley James series, Harley James and the Mystery of the Mayan Kings, and Harley James and the Peril of the Pirate's Curse. Peril of the Pirates. Let me see, which one is first? Uh-oh. I don't see any markings here to tell me which one is first. Which one is the first book? Well, I'll figure it out, and I will read them in order. So this looks really adventurous and fun. It says Harley James is an amateur cryptologist, and they go to the jungles of Guatemala to find the legendary statue of the Mayan king. And then in this one, they go to Jamaica looking for the famous sunken pirate city. Oh my goodness, I am ready for some adventure. And those are all the books that I have on my TBR for November. I will probably not get through all of those, but I am gonna give it the old college try. I'm gonna do my best to get through some of those. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know, what do you have planned to read for this next month? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.